Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Morgan, the Ryker chick, and today I'm out on a little ride with my husband. We went to lunch and had a little errand to run, so I figured I'd take you along with me. And today I am going to be talking about the MSF course, specifically the 2-wheel versus the 3-wheel. So if you've ever wanted to know about the 2-wheel or the 3-wheel course, maybe which one you should take, I can share my experiences because I've actually taken both. So keep on watching. Ooh, it's bright outside. Alright, so the MSF course, Motorcycle Safety Foundation, great class to take, of course. Check with your state guidelines as far as getting your license, but here in Florida, if you take the MSF course, you bring your certification, and you don't have to take any other test to get your license. You present your certificate to the DMV, they put your endorsement on your license. So, and I'm going to preface with all of this with saying, no matter what you ride, if you're doing 2 wheels, 3 wheels, whatever, check with your local state guidelines, your state requirements about what they require with your licensing. Here in Florida, a 2-wheel license covers everything that you want to ride. A 3-wheel license only covers a 3-wheel. So take that into consideration. So, like I said, we have taken both the 2-wheel and the 3-wheel course. My husband and I started riding around the same time, back in early June, or end of May. We decided we want to start doing this. My husband has always known he wanted to ride 2 wheels. So, and I knew pretty early on that the Ryker was going to be my bike. I fell in love with it the moment I saw it. I knew that's what I wanted. And that was it. So I had signed up for the 3-wheel course. Now Can Am offers the 3-wheel course at a discount, especially for offers the 3-wheel course at a discount for women. I think the code was women or woman or something. I think it might change from time to time, but you can get the regular cost of the 3-wheel course is $99, which is definitely much cheaper than the 2-wheel course. So great for the experience no matter how you slice it, but because they are trying to encourage more women to ride, they offer a code which gets it to you at half price. So you can use the code, whichever code they're running at the time. For me, it was the code women or woman or something like that, and I can get the course for $49. Okay, great. So I signed up for my local course. We are lucky enough to have a course, driving school near me that offers the 3-wheel course, within 30 minutes of my house, so that's great. Now, the 3-wheel course is a lot harder to come by. Obviously less people ride 3 wheels, so the classes are less readily available, but if you have one near you and you know you want to ride 3 wheels, it's a great course. Really helps build your confidence on the bikes. We learned on Rykers. So anyway, I'd signed up for the 3-wheel course, but it wasn't going to be till the end of June. My husband signed up for the 2-wheel course, and his was going to be early June. So he was going to have his endorsement 3 weeks before me, and we were both itching to get out and ride. Like, we were both really excited to get out and start going. I started thinking about it. I was like, well, maybe I should take the 2-wheel course. Extra education, especially with motorcycles, is never a bad thing. As much education and experience and practice as you can get, that's A+ in my book. So I was also impatient, so I was like, well, let me just sign up for the 2-wheel class with you. I kept the 3-wheel class on the books, and I was like, if I pass the 2-wheel, I can just cancel the 3-wheel class, and all is well. So I went to the 2-wheel class. And, now let me preface this by saying, I've never really even mastered driving a manual vehicle. So never really got comfortable with changing gears and using the clutch and all of that. So here I am, and I had never ridden a motorcycle before, you guys. So here I am going to this 2-wheel course, not having any idea what's in store. So, but you know what? like I said, it's a skill and a hobby, and it's something that takes time. I mean, I don't think anybody who's never ridden one before is going to jump on it and master it right away. Did you learn how to ride a bicycle the first time you sat on it? No, of course not. It takes time and practice. So anyway, we found ourselves signed up for both classes 3 weeks apart. 2-wheel class was scheduled first, 3-wheel class was scheduled 3 weeks later. All right, that's cool. I'll start with talking about the 3-wheel class. 3-wheel class is great, okay? 3-wheel class is going to get you a lot of the same instruction as far as going over safety factors, a lot of the things to look out for on the road, you know, all those things that are universal to all riders, no matter what you ride. There's still going to be an inherent danger in riding an open air vehicle, you know, and it's a little bit of an eye-opening situation. They don't really sugarcoat it. Neither of my instructors sugarcoated the fact that there is an inherent danger in doing this, and I think that's what they have to do. They're not trying to scare you. Maybe they are a little bit, I don't know, but they're having to, like, you know, just make you take this seriously. If this is something you're going to get out there and just be completely reckless and not pay attention to what you're doing, you know, you're going to put yourself at a higher risk. But if you know some of the factors that can make it more dangerous, if you can take steps to kind of mitigate those dangers, you can help protect yourself and make it a better ride for you, for everyone around you. So anyway, so in the 3-wheel class, we learned on the Rykers, and it was great. A lot of fun. It's a great place to build your confidence on the bikes. You get a lot of experience. You're put in situations where you're swerving and having to do quick stops, emergency braking, doing curves, and, you know, all of that. Getting used to the throttle, how sensitive the throttle is. And you do your test at the end of the 2 days. The Ryker is much easier to drive. I'll be totally honest with you on that. There's so much less to think about. It's literally the throttle and 1 foot brake. That's it. So compared to the 2-wheel class, what you're taking on is the extra skill of riding on the 2 wheels. So you're dealing with the foot brake, the hand brake, the throttle, the clutch, and shifting with your left foot, the shifting gears. There's a lot to think about. It is a total body experience to ride a 2-wheel motorcycle, because you are literally using both hands and both feet for everything. But it is a skill, and with practice, you can get it. I got it. I went into the 2-wheel course never really knowing how to master driving even a stick shift vehicle. I'll be totally honest with you on that. I had never fully mastered it. I'd done it before, you know, but I'd never really mastered doing it, never really driven a manual vehicle, you know, super far. So I didn't really know what to expect going into riding a motorcycle. But I did end up passing. You can too. I did wreck my bike in the 2-wheel class. The very first day, I was trying to make a right-hand turn around a curve, and I hit my handbrake really hard. Didn't mean to do that. He told us not to. I knew exactly when I did it what I had done, and I threw myself straight off the bike. I dropped the bike, threw myself over, got a giant bruise on my leg. It was embarrassing, but I didn't really hurt myself that bad besides the bruise. It was fine. I was okay. You know, he came over and helped me back up. I actually ended up breaking the clutch off the bike, but that's why they put you on these, like, I forget what we were even riding, like, just basic, like, not very powerful, just super basic bikes that had been beat up. So this is nothing really fancy that you're having to deal with. They just need you to get the basics of riding. So yeah, broke the clutch off. It was really embarrassing, but I'll be honest, I just, in total transparency, I was discouraged leaving that first day of class. But I went home. I was lucky enough that my husband already had his bike. He wasn't riding it yet, but he had already purchased his bike on Facebook Market. And he let me sit on his bike, because there's a lot of extra things. There's the friction zone where that's that sweet spot where you're letting off the clutch and twisting the throttle, and, you know, where the engine's engaging and you're letting go of the throttle, the clutch just enough. it just takes time and practice. That's all it is. And the next day I went in and I was better. You build some of that muscle memory between that first day and the second day. So I ended up getting it. I passed the class on the 2 wheels, and I'm really, really proud of that. But I also knew that if for some reason I hadn't done it, I had the 3-wheel course as a backup. So we ended up taking the 3-wheel course 3 weeks later, honestly, because at that point we had missed the deadline to drop the class. So, and again, like I said, extra education, extra practice, extra exposure to riding is never a bad thing. So we ended up going. My husband and I both went, and our friend went with us, and we got to ride the Rykers. And at that point, it was fun. But I tried to look at it from the standpoint of somebody who didn't already have their license, and it was a great experience. Like I said, their focus is safety and trying to teach you all the different things that you need to be looking out for when out riding. The instructor, his name was Steve. He was Coach Steve. He keeps popping in my head at different points. You know, he had little catchphrases that would come up. He was a really interesting guy. He'd been riding for decades and decades, and he had a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge to share. And he still has little tidbits that keep popping in my head when I'm out riding. So it's a very valuable course no matter which one you do. So at the end of the day, it's up to you whether you choose the 2-wheel or the 3-wheel. It's really what you're wanting to do as far as riding. If you're going to get a 3-wheel bike and that's all you need for your state requirements, which I think most places that's the norm. If you're going to get a 3-wheel bike and that's all you're ever going to ride, do the 3-wheel. You know, if you've got a class near you, do that. But if you're gonna maybe possibly go on a 2-wheel at some point, if you think that's a skill that you might want to have, take the 2-wheel class. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I promise you that. And it's a lot of fun. It's a completely different skill. It is very different than riding on these Rykers. The shifting, obviously, everything we've already talked about, the balancing, the shifting, the braking, all of that, plus the balancing, the leaning, the going into turns. It's very, very different, but I think it's a skill that can cross over pretty easily, you know. So the big thing is, if you're thinking about taking up this hobby, get out there and do it. Sign up for one of these classes. That's a great way to introduce yourself to this in a safe environment where you have instruction. You're in a pretty controlled environment. They're not taking you out on the highway in these classes, but you're learning a lot of the basics. And I think it's important to know that any MSF class is not going to make you an expert. Coach Steve told us that even after 5,000 miles, you're still considered a novice rider. So it takes time and practice, and his big thing was get out there and ride. You have to get out there and practice. Get out there and get your experience. But the MSF class is a great way to get that started. For me, I knew I was hooked. I knew I was hooked the moment that we first started getting on those bikes. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. If I didn't answer any questions, leave comments down below. Ask me questions. Tomorrow is International Female Riders Day, so I think this is a really important topic. We need to get more women out there riding. Ladies, we are only 20% of the motorcycle riding population. We got to fix that. We can get out there and do this. It is a tremendous amount of fun. It is very empowering to get out here and ride. So I hope you guys are being safe out there. Like I said, like this video, subscribe. And until next time, ride safe, be kind, and I will see you next time. Bye.